Ever wondered about a set of skills which you can learn online almost for free, no university degree needed, which can help you land a job and kickstart your career? I'm saying almost free because not everything's about money, right? Hey everyone, it's Parsa, welcome back to my channel. As I told you in this video, we are diving into the list of skills that you must have to start your journey as a software engineer. I've been a software engineer for over 3 years now, and on this channel, I'm here to share the challenges I've faced along the way and how I tackled them. Let's dive into the journey together. I'm talking about a job which you can do from wherever you want, your home, your favorite coffee shop, and you don't have to go all the way to the office every day. For myself right now, I live in Bonn, a city in Germany, and the company that I'm working for as a working student is in the Potsdam. Besides, it has flexible working hours, which gives you so much freedom when you're planning your daily activities. It is not that related to your time and your place. And of course, with a good salary. Now you might be thinking, if this job is so amazing, why isn't everyone doing this? The truth is, a lot of people are. Tons of folks around the world are already in this space. First off, let me be real with you. I'm not here to say, oh, everything you need is a laptop and internet connection. We cannot say everything that a musician needs is an instrument. Nope, these are just the tools, and the real game changer is your brain. And that needs to grow and adapt. Also, there isn't one magic skill or website that will make you a software engineer overnight. Like many other professions, it's practical. It needs hands-on experience, but alongside that, it needs knowledge. Now, let me walk you through a list of tools and concepts which are pretty essential to know about. Items of that list are Git, backend server frameworks such as Django, Node.js, Spring, database, basic data structures and algorithms, and API. The first item is Git, a version control system that any developer, no matter backend or any role else, you need to know how to work with it. And I have started recording a playlist about this tool and how to work with it, and you can see it right up here. As you might know, we have so many roles in software development. We have front-end developers, Android developers, iOS developers, backend developers, and so many other things. In this video, I'm particularly talking about backend development, backend server frameworks. When you're looking at job descriptions, you'll often see programming languages such as Python or JavaScript listed in the requirements. But here's the thing, they're usually talking about frameworks that uses that language. For example, when they say Python, they often mean Django or Flask. And for JavaScript, they are usually referring to Node.js. Frameworks are basically a way that you bring your code to life and make it do useful stuff. So, the first step, learn the basics of the language you want to dive into. Then, just search for tutorials online. You can ask ChatGPT, or we can have a quick demo right now. Okay, so here's my friend ChatGPT. For learning the basic syntax of a language, we can simply ask it. Let's go for language JavaScript. Hey ChatGPT, give me the basic syntax of the language JavaScript. Okay, let's see what it says. Here's the basic syntax of JavaScript. So apparently we have a 3 ways for defining variables. We have this is how we write functions, the if clause, for loops, creating objects, arrays, classes, and other things. But one step before writing in a language is to install it on your computer. Let's use Google for that. ChatGPT may not always be the answer, so JavaScript install Windows 11, for example. And this is the IDE. This is how to install JavaScript on Windows. and there is tons of videos, there's tons of links, and there are also some great websites where you can start coding right away. These websites aren't good just for starting programming. Actually, a couple of weeks earlier, I was playing around with Code Academy website just to remember JavaScript syntax and tricks. Once you've got the basics, you can move on to frameworks. For Python, check out Django or Flask. For JavaScript and TypeScript, it's Node.js. For Java, it's Spring. And for Golang, well, Golang, it's kind of its own thing. And of course, not recommended to start with. Next item on the list is data structures and algorithms. They are guaranteed to come up in all interviews. Data structures cover a wide range, but algorithms, they're even broader. Because you can think of data structures as raw materials and algorithms as recipe to cook them into the solutions. You don't have to stress over complex algorithms like network flow and simplex algorithms. Those rarely pop up in interviews. What matters is having a solid foundation. I learned algorithms in 3 categories: graph, strings, and some advanced algorithms. String algorithms in particular are favorite in interview questions, so they're worth focusing on. But besides interview questions, knowing algorithms can give a good point of view when you are programming. So learn them for that purpose, not to just answer some interview questions. Of course, one of the most crucial parts in software engineering is understanding databases. In simple words, database is a place where we store our data. For instance, if you're building an online shop like Amazon, you'd keep all your users' information in the database. You should know how to store data, retrieve it when needed, update it, and handle tons of other tasks. Think of it like this. Databases use information tables which are interconnected in some way. To interact with these tables, the first thing you need to learn is a language called SQL. SQL is basically the language which we use to talk to a database. For example, you could ask, hey, what's the name of that user with email address blah 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 at gmail.com, or tell it to update something, delete a record, and so on. Each of these commands is called a query. You will hear it a lot. After you learn SQL, the next step maybe is to know how to connect your application to a database and again run SQL queries. This is a whole new world of software engineering. Besides SQL and NoSQL databases, you have complex queries, schema design, and so many other challenges. And the last but not least, APIs. Applications need to communicate with each other, and they rely on an infrastructure to share data. In general, API is an abbreviation for Application Programming Interfaces. When you visit a website, you interact with the UI, the user interface. But the real magic happens behind the scenes. The UI talks to a backend server, often located elsewhere, and this interaction happens through something called API. API is a broad topic, but here I'm talking about HTTP. 2 key parts of HTTP are methods like get, post, update, delete, and the status codes like 200, which means success, 400, which means the user is sending a bad request, and 500, which shows the server error. Understanding this is essential for any developer. Don't worry if this list feels overwhelming. I'll be breaking down each of these topics in my upcoming videos. For each one of these topics, search on Google, ask ChatGPT, see related codes on GitHub, and try to use them in your codes to gain some experience. You can read about every single of them until the end of time. So that's it. Subscribe to my channel if you find these videos useful. If you had any questions, just ask them in the comments, and see you in next videos.